to see you people. We've been doing summer concerts. Our summer concert. Anyway, we were delighted that you people come see us. That's the only reason that we have a job, so please give yourselves a big round of applause. We love you people. This guy right here, we've been playing together for 30 years. That's Dynamite Denny on the mandolin. This guy in the middle right there, musical genius, that's what is your name? Anders! And this guy on the far end, he can sing beautifully. He can play the banjo guitar brilliantly, and he can whistle like beautifully. But he can dance. Show me your dancing. He's going to start us off right now, ladies and gentlemen. Whistling Rick. Just a whole color, y'all. Chewing cattle the style. Where I start. Running horse in the court. I'm just a country boy. Country boy. Most of you people know who we are. We're pretty famous. And Monday, this is a pretty good turnout. I'm honestly very happy to see so many people on Monday on our first show. I'm happy to see this. And this is good for us to not have to play to a full room. It's just a bummer to have to play to too many people. When too many people show up, we're so disappointed. It really is hard to work with a large audience. So It's like a teacher working with a too large of a classroom. Same exact thing. So we're trying to hone it down, try to thin out the crowd a little bit. Our goal is eventually to do each show just for one. And that would be you. You'd be getting the whole show, it'd be slammed right at you. Every one of us would be looking at you every show. You wouldn't have to share us with anybody else. You'd love it. You'd be tired. No, you'd love it. You'd be our audience. All right. Well, most of y'all know we're hillbillies originally. We're from the mountains of Santa Monica. So let's do something different than hillbilly songs because we want to become cowboys. That is a dream we've had for a long time. So let's do a cowboy song. Let's do that one that's called Ghost Riders in the Sky. Yeah, we all know, don't we all? Not what anybody wants, I think so. And not only this fellow wants to be a rhinestone cowboy because he's a sharply dressed man, very sharp dressed man, as we all are. And I think that's what our success is. Not so much our music, as much as our dress, our attire, and even more importantly, believe it or not, this is so important, fellas. Personal hygiene. black tie. I don't have a reason why. They come on just as fast as they can. Every girl's crazy about a sharp-dressed man. Gold watch, diamond ring, I ain't missing not a single thing. Cufflinks, stick pin, but that's the best I'm gonna do it. They go running just as fast as they can. Every girl's crazy about a sharp-dressed man. Feel like doing a Broadway show tune. Feel like doing a Broadway show tune right now. Let's do this Broadway show tune, and let's do this Broadway show tune as if it were a rockabilly song. Let's hear it for our fine sound techs with fantastic sound techs. They are really great. And no applause for the hair people that work here at Knott's Farm. But my hair person did not show up. So I have not a hairdo, but a hair don't. And I apologize. When I take you out tonight with me, and darling, here's the way it's gonna be. You will be behind a team of snow. When I'm taking you out in my Surrey with my Fringe on the top, I watch that Fringe and I see how it flares when I drive in my house to the Surrey. Know the books, while people feel the shutters and the eyes will pop. The wheels are here, the upholstery brand, the dashboard you will live. And I know it's good, you can roll right there, and keep the change in the weather. Two bright satellites waiting. Ain't no fine or ring out my phone. You can't keep your ring if you're thinking if you care. To swap over with the shoulder with the Fringe on the top. Yeah! What you say the Fringe was made of silk. I wouldn't have no other kind of silk. Come on, man. Son, oh, let's shut a little story with the Fringe on the top. Yeah. We're known for taking bluegrass songs, playing those. I say that backwards. I got mixed up. We're known for taking songs that are not bluegrass songs and playing them in the style of bluegrass. We even do that sometimes with bluegrass songs. That's when we're really going crazy. But let's do a Beatles song, and this is a pretty song. As a matter of fact, this Beatles song should be a country song. It's called Ticket to Ride. do those concerts in the park, or one. Yeah, because we kind of pick up people sometimes. We pick up Norconians. I'm trying to get more Norconians in here, even though they're odd people with their language. You know, the Norconian dialect is odd to listen to. It's interesting, though. And it's beautiful this time of year. You got to go to Norcon. All right, let's take Dennis right here. He's going to take us out of this show with the most famous of all the fiddle songs. It's called the Orange Blossom Special, which is a train song. He might even do the train thing. Ladies and gentlemen, let it what's going on here. I have a problem with playing the fiddle. I can't get into it. It's something to do with my upbringing. I just was kind of from a boo-boo family. So my brothers bought me this to change things around a bit. Loosen me up as a fiddle.